What is happening in Bangladesh? Is this a cause that the Muslim Ummah should be supporting, or should it be one that we should have reservations and cautions about, especially in light of the events of the Arab Spring? Bangladesh is the third largest populated Muslim country in the world, subhanallah. It is a country that was formerly East Pakistan. It is a proudly Sunni majority, and a country which sadly for the last 14 to 15 years has been under the brutal dictatorship of Sheikh Hasina, who less than 48 hours ago fled in a helicopter to either India or London. But what is all this about? Well, the protest which started in the early weeks of July was to do with the quota system. The quota system is a policy which is nearly as old as Bangladesh itself. This quota system law states that discriminated minorities and disadvantaged communities will be given allocated percentages for public sector jobs. So why is that an issue? Because on paper that sounds like something that's praiseworthy and laudable. Well, the problem is that 30% of that quota would be allocated to family members and descendants of the freedom fighters. Some may wonder, well, what's wrong with that? Why cannot the freedom fighters who got liberation and independence from Bangladesh, why can't their descendants and family members enjoy public sector work and civil service jobs? Well, in Islam, this is unfair. This is unjust. You are judged on your competency and your ability, not on your lineage. Secondly, even if it were to be the case, what the Awami League regime did during the 15-year dictatorship of Hasina is that she utilized this 30% to actually give those jobs to her cronies and her party loyalists by producing thousands of fake freedom fighter certificates, which is required for you to access those civil service jobs. High office Awami League ministers would sign off these fake certificates. So this 30%, which was claimed to be for the descendants of those who fought in 1971, actually very quickly became a case where her own loyalists to the Awami League regime were given these jobs in these spaces. But was her resignation and was her fleeing her own country as a result of this cause alone? No. People of Bangladesh, the Muslims of Bangladesh, have been fed up with the Awami League regime for the last 15 years. She consolidated her power between 2009 to 2014 and carried out horrific actions which the international community is yet to hold her to account. And I'm just going to mention some of the things. She created a kangaroo court called the International Crimes Tribunal. This kangaroo court, which is not recognized by any international body and nor were any international monitors allowed to enter Bangladesh to assess the veracity of this court and how they would authenticate evidence and how the due diligence and due process would be carried out. Rather, this court, the International Crimes Tribunal Court, was utilized by Hasina to eliminate her political opposition. So therefore we saw the hanging of Abdul Qadir Mullah, the life sentence that was given to the prominent and well-known Dilly Hussain Sayyidi, as well as other BNP leaders and Jamaati leaders. These leaders were hung or were given lifetime prison sentences. She managed to quell very violently a peaceful sit-in protest by Hifazat Islam, the largest apolitical Deobandi group, where she killed on the 5th of May in Shapla Square massacre hundreds of imams, Hufaz, Tulab al-Ilm. The sad reality of Bangladesh for the best part of 15 years is that we had a ruler who ruled with an iron fist, who actually served the interests of India more than the interests of her own people. And she used the fact that she is the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the founding father of Bangladesh. She used this and she weaponized the events of 1971 to discredit and even criminalize any kind of popular opposition against her rule. So what made the quota system so unique? Well, this was the boiling point, because in 2018 the quota system was actually revoked for Sheikh Hasina to actually realize, oh, there's a potential here of me losing grip in preserving my regime, so I need to reintroduce this quota system, which she did in June this year, which then subsequently led to the protests that we've seen. But things really reached a high point when on July the 14th, Sheikh Hasina described those who were taken to the streets peacefully in Dhaka and elsewhere as basically Razakars. Now, for those of you who don't know what that term Razakar means, Razakar basically in essence is referring to those who sided with West Pakistan during the Liberation War and those who were either ideologically or politically against partition away from Pakistan and an independent Bangladesh. She basically said on national media, if you do not want the descendants of those who fought for this country to reap the benefits of the quota system, who is it that you want to reap the benefits of this quota system? The Razakars. And this is a textbook play by Sheikh Hasina, which she utilizes this term razakkar and weaponizes the events of 1971 to discredit and actually criminalize any kind of opposition, whether it's secular or Islamic or otherwise. So why should the Muslim Ummah care about this and what's happening in Bangladesh? Well, we are Ummat al-Wahid. We are one body. Every time we talk about one Ummah, we refer to that very commonly cited hadith that the parable of the believers is that of a body. That when one part of it aches, the rest of it responds in restlessness and fear. My dear brothers and sisters, the Muslims of Bangladesh are an ummatic people. There is not a cause that I am aware of that when it had reached the Muslims of Bangladesh that they did not take to the streets in solidarity with their brothers and sisters. Whether that be Kashmir, whether that be the oppressed Muslims of India, whether that be the Uyghurs, whether that be the Muslims of Syria, Palestine, whether that be Modi and his state visits to Bangladesh, the caricatures of the Prophet ﷺ by France, all of these issues, you will find that Bangladeshis have taken to the streets in their tens and thousands to show solidarity with these ummatic causes. Secondly, why is it so important? Well, after nearly 8 to 10 years of events post-Arab Spring, many have concluded that the Arab Spring was a failure. Now that's a whole debate in and of itself. But if a nation like Bangladesh, 175 million people, 10% of the Muslim Ummah, were able to pressure and force a dictatorial ruler like Hasina to step down and flee, then this should give hope to the Ummah that things can happen without resorting to armed insurrection. Without raising weapons and creating civil strife and civil war, change can come. And indeed, the Muslims and the people of Bangladesh achieved a great thing. A thing which I, even in my own analysis, did not envisage. Yes, I wanted and I hoped there to be regime change in terms of Hasina stepping down and there to be a more representative government that actually addresses the concerns of the average ordinary Bangladeshi who actually lives way beyond poverty that can be understood or comprehended in the West. We talk about cost of living in Bangladesh and elsewhere in the Muslim world. It's a reality of cost of surviving. When I heard the news that Hasina had stepped down and she was fleeing the country in a helicopter, when I saw the scenes of the statues of her father, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, widely regarded as the founding father of the Republic, being taken down by soldiers themselves, when I saw the Ansar Brigade, a paramilitary group of the Bangladesh, making takbirat, subhanallah, these were truly exciting times. However, the Muslims of Bangladesh must learn lessons from events in the past, primarily the Arab Spring. The Muslims of Bangladesh must realize and understand and work towards the fact that cosmetic change is not good enough. We saw the events of Egypt. We saw what happened to Dr. Muhammad Morsi. May Allah have mercy on him and grant him as a martyr in paradise. Ameen. We saw what happened in Tunisia with Al-Nahda. We saw what happened when there were cosmetic changes in the Arab world during the Arab Spring. What the Muslims of Bangladesh must understand and must come to grips with is that cosmetic change to a dictatorial and deeply embedded corrupt political system is not good enough. They have achieved something huge so far, but keep the momentum up. Do not accept a mere facial change of the same corrupt regime. Continue calling for fairness and justice for all Bangladeshi people in the country. My concluding comments and thoughts to the Muslims of Bangladesh: you have made the Ummah proud. Wallahi, you have made the Ummah proud. You have shown to the rest of your 49, 50 plus Muslim counterparts that popular change can happen without resorting to violent means. Subhanallah, more than 1,000 were martyred for this cause, being shot dead by police, RAB, NSI, as well as other state-armed law enforcement agencies. Subhanallah, there were videos of unarmed protesters opening their chests like this and they were getting shot. Subhanallah, we all saw the footage of takbirat and those of students praying and making sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We were truly inspired by this. What I'm saying to you is keep that momentum up. Do not accept change which you know and the rest of the Ummah knows because they've experienced it elsewhere, that this is merely a cosmetic change. What do I mean by a cosmetic change? Cosmetic is makeup. Cosmetic is when someone puts makeup on, and once you wash your face, that makeup's gone and it's the same original undesirable look that one has. Do not accept it. Do not accept it. You are better than this. Did those martyrs die in vain for merely a cosmetic change? I do not believe so, and I believe you do not think that to be the case either. But we are going to look to you towards inspiration and leadership. The Muslim world is looking towards you. They may not say it, but they are. They're looking towards you. One of the most largest Muslim majority countries, a country which has deep connections with the rest of the Muslim majority world. How many of you know that East Pakistan and Bengali fighters at the time during the 1967 war fought in Palestine? We are looking towards you for inspiration. We are looking towards you not to make the mistakes that others have made in trying to bring about change in their respective countries. And my message to the Muslims outside of Bangladesh: why would this cause not be like any other cause which requires our efforts? It is no different to anything that's happening in Pakistan or in the Arab world or in Turkey or in Africa. At the end of the day, we are the eyes and ears of those who do not have the access and the platforms that we do. So when the Muslims of Bangladesh reach out to you and are calling upon you to raise awareness about their cause, or raising awareness about India's interference, as we speak right now, India and New Delhi are worried. They are worried because they have always enjoyed a political grip on Bangladesh. In fact, so much so that Bangladesh, at least under Hasina, very much so, was a vassal state. It was there merely subserviently to serve India and its interests, its economic and geopolitical interests. Right now, as we speak, India is worried. Modi is worried. And we know what Modi and BJP and the Hindutva are about. So my brothers and sisters outside of Bangladesh, aid your brothers and sisters in Bangladesh, come to their cause, raise awareness for their cause, and of course, make dua for them. Never ever belittle the power of dua. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.